So, the European Union has a reputation for having some of the most ambitious climate goals on the planet. But its latest big idea, a landmark target for 2040, just got stopped dead in its tracks. Let's dig into what happened.
The EU has always been seen as a trailblazer on climate policy, always pushing the envelope with aggressive goals. So what gives? Why is this climate leader suddenly slamming on the brakes with its next big target? Let's figure out what's really going on.
Okay, so first things first, what exactly is this ambitious plan we're talking about? Well, it all centers on one key date, the year 2040.
The number they put on the table is huge. We're talking a 90% cut in net greenhouse gas emissions. That figure alone tells you just how serious the EU is trying to be about all this.
And get this isn't just some friendly suggestion. It's a proposed legally binding target. And the key detail here is that the 90% reduction is measured against 1990 emission levels, which is kind of the gold standard for these international climate deals.
You might be wondering, why 2040? Why such a tough goal? Well, the European Commission had a couple of big reasons. First, they wanted to give investors and industries a really clear signal, a roadmap for the future. And second, it's all about making sure Europe stays on track for its ultimate goal, hitting net zero emissions by 2050.
So it really seemed like everything was moving along smoothly. But then, right as the deal was about to be finalized, the whole plan hit a massive and pretty unexpected hurdle.
And just like that, boom, everything stopped. Plans to approve this new climate target were totally shelved, put on ice indefinitely. A huge policy initiative just brought to a screeching halt.
All right, so who's responsible for hitting the brakes? Well, according to EU diplomats, the pushback came from some of the EU's heaviest hitters. France and Germany were apparently leading the charge, and a bunch of other governments decided to join in and call for a delay.
And what this delay really does is pull back the curtain on a continent that is seriously divided right now. And we're not talking about a small disagreement on the details. This is a fundamental clash over priorities.
Here's where the conflict really lies. On one side, you have that incredible long-term climate ambition. But on the other hand, governments are staring down some very real, very immediate crises. A need to ramp up defense spending in a pretty unstable world, and this urgent pressure to help out industries that are struggling with high energy costs.
So, at the end of the day, it all boils down to this one crucial debate. It's about timing, it's about resources. How ambitious can you really afford to be in tackling global warming when all these other crises are knocking at the door, demanding attention and money right now?
And make no mistake, this delay isn't just some political squabble you can ignore. There are real-world consequences. So let's take a look at what's truly at stake for Europe here.
To put it bluntly, climate change has made Europe the world's fastest warming continent. I mean, wow. That's not some abstract problem for our grandkids. It is happening right here, right now, and it's hitting Europe harder and faster than pretty much anywhere else.
And we're already seeing what that rapid warming means in the real world, right? We're talking about deadly heat waves becoming more and more common, and these absolutely record-shattering wildfires that just scorch the land. These are the consequences, and they are happening today.
So this delay basically throws the future of the EU's climate leadership into question. What was once a clear path forward is now just uncertain. It's a huge dilemma for the entire bloc. And that leaves us with the one big question hanging over everything. It is a massive, high-stakes balancing act. Can Europe's ambitious and frankly necessary goals for the future withstand the incredible pressures of its present-day crises? The answer to that is going to define the continent for decades.